Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I have a special message for 777 portal is open. And what does it all mean? Well, energetically we have intense days in front of us, but today especially signifies a strong alignment of your mind, soul and your highest potential. Because of its intensity, many suppressed energy may come to the surface so you can release it, because the only way towards higher purpose is to heal and release what is not serving you together, what is not allowing you together. So we're all going through a healing process where we are kinda letting go of old stuck energy that was present in our system, in our energy field, from our ancestors, from our siblings, from our parents, from anyone who kind of brainwashed us and heart-washed us into limitation, into negative energy. And it's a wonderful time to release it. It's a wonderful time to actually go into that dark aspect of yourself and listen to yourself, listen to what all those negative thoughts have to say without any judgment towards them. We'll talk about practical tools that can be used today and the days after this day, because it's not a one-day process, it's not a one-month process. Usually it's happening in cycles, like in rhythms. When we see everything in nature works in rhythms, also that healing process works in rhythms, but right now it may be really intense. So firstly, if we look into the power of numbers from numerological perspective, when we have 77, and if you look at the year 2023, we get another 7 if we combine these numbers. So 77 is a number that holds within energy as a love of freedom and adventure. But what's the negative aspect of this love for freedom and adventure is that it lacks discipline and self-control. So it brings us an energy of adventure, flexibility, adaptability and tolerance, but lacks focus and discipline. For example, a pleasure or abuse without self-discipline can result in drug or alcohol abuse, and it can teach us that freedom and love are always byproducts of well-lived lives, right? Freedom is a byproduct of well-organized life in a way that your life may serve your purpose, that you've designed your life in such a way that you can fully embrace yourself into living your purpose. And love then is living your life so well that everything can feel like an inner bliss. Everything you experience may feel like an inner bliss, but for that we need to discipline our minds, we need to learn to regulate our emotions, and we need to discipline our will. And we'll talk about everything, and there's actually a really beautiful connection why our heart center is in the middle between the lower will centers and the upper mind centers. Heart is in the middle because it knows the power of moderation, right? So if you want to use these energies right now for its greatest possible purpose, for what it is kind of encouraging you to do, firstly, avoid distraction and find contentment within yourself. We'll be talking about how to do it. Keep observing, my friend, what arises within you right at this moment, and find moments in a day to just observe what arises within you, especially when you feel more negative. Because it's not that you are negative, it's not that you're kinda controlled by certain force or whatever. You've just started identifying yourself with the negative thoughts that are present in your field. And more you've started judging them and entertaining them, more you've started feeling emotions that may arise as the byproduct of those dark thoughts, actually of your judgments towards those dark thoughts. So notice the thoughts and the emotions that may evoke. Understand that process, and know that each emotion is a byproduct of your thoughts. But don't stay defined by them. Know that you are an awareness observing the thoughts. It's a process that requires a lot of time and requires a lot of attention and compassion towards yourself. Know that all the thoughts have lingered in your field for a long time, and they've been a part of your identity, and therefore you feel so identified with them. But know that you are not them, that they're just still in your field. But as you start, let's say, transmuting them, let's say that a thought comes to you that says that you're a bad person because you're not good at doing that, or because you're always feeling bad. To transmute that thought, you can say, I am becoming a better person because I'm working on myself, because I'm willing to move through this process. Or I'm becoming better because I'm working on this, because I'm practicing this every single day. Even if you don't see results today, know that results are always a byproduct of a certain work, and the quality of work determines the quality of results. Know that. Refrain from judging them. When it comes to any thought, you will see right now, if you're going through the healing process, many dark thoughts may be kinda annoying you right now. But stop judging them. Often people start judging themselves, like, oh, I'm so negative right now, oh, I'm so this and this and that. But when you actually observe those thoughts, like in a form of meditation, like you would observe nature without labeling it, without judging it, without any need to explain what you're observing. You just observe the movement. It's a discipline of the mind. When you start observing your thoughts without judging them, it's a deep work. But if you're able to accomplish it, you will notice that in front of your brain, energy will start purifying. It will start crystallizing, and you may experience this really pleasant sensation of energy in that front area of your brain, that frontal cortex. And that is the crystallization of your energy, and then you can draw that energy into the middle center of your brain, where there's a pineal gland. And then you can draw this energy downwards towards your heart, and you may experience a wonderful sensation of bliss. And what may happen, you've purified a certain area of yourself, a certain part of your energy system has changed, transformed. And if you keep doing that on daily basis, you will notice that eventually you will naturally start to think more positively, not as a forced positive thinking, but as a byproduct of transmutation of energy. And that is a wonderful practice that can be really helpful right now. The second thing I want to remind you at this phase is to practice moderation in all things. There is a middle point for everything you do, and you can only find it through consistent practice. It's not like I will work out in moderation. You can only work out in moderation once you start working out and you fall in love with it, for example, and you start overdoing it and you notice the upper extreme of it. And then it may disturb you so much that you stop working out and you notice the lower extreme to it, which is too little. Right? And moderation is then middle point between too much and too little. And to find the middle point, we can only discover it by consistent trial of errors. But we aim towards finding the middle point. We don't just give up because something doesn't work. We aim towards the middle point. And that is the art of moderation. It was taught from ancient cultures, it was taught from philosophers, it was taught from today's teachers, and it's just something we need to learn to embody. And There is a middle point for everything you do. Discover the balance in all aspects of your life, as it is the middle that we experience the most love. Love then becomes a byproduct of finding the middle in everything, in our diet, in our way of thinking, in our behaviors, in actions we take, in our using the willpower, right? Not too much, not too little, not forcing too much, but not doing anything at all as well is not okay, right? So the art of moderation is finding just the right amount of doing something, just the right amount of healing, for example, just the right amount of meditation, just the right amount of food, just the right amount of drink, of water, for example, just the right amount of social life, just the right amount of solitude, the right amount of being active, and the right amount of resting. It's completely okay if you're not the master of it. I'm not the master of it. I can admit that because I'm a work in progress. And we're all a work in progress, so we're all learning these things. But as we find a new aspect of moderation or a new level of moderation, it's much easier then to explain it to somebody else because we've just discovered something healthier. And I can talk about this because I'm practicing it for such a long time that I've discovered where moderation lies in many aspects of my life. So remember that even heart center resides in the middle between the will centers and the mind centers. That's why the heart was in ancient times known as the entity of life. You know, in ancient Egypt we can find those teachings from the Book of Dead. You will notice that when a person died, they've take the heart from that person and put it into a special jar while they've thrown their brains away. That's how much they understood the importance of the heart. It's not just a organ for pushing the blood through your veins. It's an organ of life, and that's why it's in the middle. So remember everything in moderation and know that you will fail in recognizing it. You will fail at doing different things, but every time you fail, you're just getting closer towards better understanding of how much is enough. So you need to develop a sense of how much is enough, and that is something truly important on this phase of your present evolution. Develop a sense of how much is enough. That is the lack of understanding of 7-7, but at the same time it is reminding you to work on this so you can master it. 7-7 is not a master number, but it is an important number. You can make a master out of it once you master its weaknesses, and discipline and ability to self-control, to use your focus for your highest possible good will make you a master of this energy. Really, really important. And the third thing I want to give you here is to establish a consistent practice of opening your heart center. And many of you I know are already doing that, but something that we always or often miss is that our hearts can't fully open if we don't develop methods for clear thinking, emotional regulation, and control over your will. And I want to explain those things. So what is clear thinking? It's an ability to use our minds correctly. When we say use your intention, it's hard to be intentional about things if you don't have ability to think clearly, right? If you don't have ability to use your mind intentionally. If your monkey mind is too active, it will be hard for you to control your thoughts. And therefore, there will not be enough energy in your heart center for it to fully open up. That's why in the ancient teachings, they knew that if you want to open your spiritual senses, to open your heart and balance the fundamental pillar of yourself, that is your soul, your energy being. You have to become the master of your mind. You have to become the master of your emotions. You need to learn to regulate yourself emotionally, and you need to gain control over your will. So firstly, to regulate your emotions, it means that you recognize you're not your emotions, you're not what you feel, but you're feeling it because something is happening in your mind. And emotions are always the byproducts of thoughts. Actually, emotions are manifestations of thoughts. In science, we can learn, especially in epigenetics, we can learn that each thought manifests in the brain as it activates a certain neuron. A neuron then influences the blood, and that influence of the blood is felt as an emotion. So it's already a chain reaction of a thought. And that's why clear thinking is so important. For example, a meditation where you just practice quietness of the mind for 10 minutes and you do it for 1 month. After 1 month, you will be able to think more clearly. Then if you're able to hold just one thought for 10 minutes, you will develop a muscle of clarity. Like your thoughts will stop jumping all over the place and you will start to think more clearly. You will be able to focus. You will be able to live in the moment, right? When you will be communicating with somebody, you will be able to listen to that person without your mind wandering to all kinds of places. And that is discipline. That is mental discipline. Emotional discipline means that, again, you feel emotions in moderation. It doesn't mean that you control your emotions, because your emotions need to be felt, but you need to listen to them and see what they have to say. Sometimes we have deep sadness because an energy from the past is seeking to be released. So we need to listen to our emotions. We become masters of our emotional body if we are able to pay attention to it without reacting to it, right? Because sometimes when people feel sad, they think there's something wrong with them because in the past they've been taught that they shouldn't feel sad, or they shouldn't feel depressed, or they shouldn't feel anxious. But now, as the field of mental health is expanding and emotional health is expanding, we can find new teachings that are much more beneficial, that can actually remind us that it's completely okay to feel whatever you feel and see what is beneath that emotion. See what wound was caused in your past that you're still carrying it on. Like maybe as a little kid you've been hurt because nobody understood you, or you did something that people were laughing at you, and you still have this strong sense that you shouldn't expose yourself, that you shouldn't speak your voice. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. It just means that you shouldn't ignore those emotions. That's how you become a better listener to them, and find help in this area. Find a therapist or anyone that can help you in this area, because emotional healing is so complex. It's not an easy process. So truly, find someone who can help you in that process, and I hope my work can help you as a part of your healing journey. And then I mentioned the third aspect, which is our will. What is our will? When you learn to control your will, you will be able to do what you say to yourself that you will do. Our will serves us to reach or to finish certain tasks that we set to ourselves. So when you say that you will do something, also do it. And have certain top devotions. I've designed a weekly passion planner. You can find it in the link in the description. You can use it for those weekly top devotions that you set for yourself, but you are only training your will when you actually start doing them and finish them. That's how you train your will. When you do those things, your energy system will increase, and then if you use some meditations for opening your heart, you can navigate that energy into the center of your heart and it will fully open. And when your heart opens, you will know it. You will know it the way that you will naturally become more positive. You will naturally become more uplifted. You will naturally become grateful. You will naturally experience that inner wholeness, something I've been talking yesterday in the video. But I think today's video is really practical for these powerful, intense energies that are present right now. Know that there's nothing wrong with you if you're going through something right now. Know that you have within all the capacities to move through what is going on. But be truthful, be honest with yourself. If you've been pushing yourself too much because you've been escaping from something unpleasant, know that you also need to deal with that, whatever is unpleasant, because only that way you can heal it. You can run away from yourself, but you will never be able to escape from yourself. So the only way to healing is to move through those unpleasant sensations, unpleasant scenarios, and watch them, observe them from a higher level of compassion and awareness. And if it's hard for you, find someone who can guide you through this process. It's so rewarding. Like, nothing is more rewarding than your own healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, mental healing. It will all reflect on your physical level. So my friends, I hope you found something valuable today. And I hope you found today's painting inspiring. Thanks to everyone for supporting my art in our Etsy shop. I Draw My Passion. You're all truly appreciated. I'm sending you all much love, blessings, and power. Have a wonderful day. Until next time, one love.